Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. In this video, child, I'm going to tell you why you need to be very, very careful if you do magic to enhance your creativity. Now, I know you're thinking, but it's not. No. Let me tell you. But first, I'm going to tell you some things to do. Let's say you are writing a book, or you draw, you paint, you knit, crochet, whatever. You know, if you do any type of creative endeavor, sometimes we're stuck in a rut, and we're just looking for ways to enhance our creativity. Now, I have a really quick ritual that you can do. Now, this is the other book that I think is really good for beginners. It's called, I think I might have done it. It's called The Greater Words of Power, The Secret Cause. Let me get that focus. Of Archangel Magick by Damon Brand. Now on page 81, there's a really good ritual. It's called Enhance Your Creativity, baby. Right here. I like to do this if I am maybe if I have writer's block, or because you know I sew, I make dolls, and so sometimes I just want to do something different. So I'm just going to read a little bit. It says, whether you paint abstracts, write poems, run a business, or work in a marketing department, creativity is an important quality. This ritual can be used when you need creativity for mundane tasks such as work, or when you are working in the creative arts. It removes the blockages that prevent you from connecting with your creative thought processes and gives you the courage and energy to take mental leaps in new directions. This is a really cool ritual. You guys know I like to talk about things. I mean, come on, I made these dolls, right? I mean, do I need to tell? I mean, I didn't know about magic before I made the dolls. Isn't that funny? But once I started making the dolls, and I wanted to improve on the dolls, and I wanted to come up with different ideas, or even in my books, I mean, they don't give you ideas, but it helps you open the portals. I like to say this. It helps you open the portals of your chakras so that you can receive information and downloads from other galaxies, other worlds, from your spiritual team, child, to bring those realities into this world. Okay? So now the chakras that are responsible for creativity, your third eye, this is responsible for your imagination. You're being able to see things that do not exist, right? And then we also have the throat chakra. This is your chakra for, especially if you're a writer, for artistic expression, for writing, communicating, but also being in alignment with truth, your truth, being able to express your truth. And then the third area that we use for creativity, we use all of the chakras, but these are the ones that I personally like to focus on. My third eye for my imagination, my throat chakra for my ability to communicate, and then my second chakra, which is 2 inches below my navel. And that the color is orange for that chakra. This is blue, and this for the third eye is like a navy blue purple. Now, I feel that when you do your magic, it opens you up to see the nuances in daily life. Like you're looking for the details. If you look at a person's painting, you'll see the veins on the hand, the knuckles, right? The fingernails, the fingertips. Somebody paid attention, child. You know what I'm saying? They were literally paying attention. When you write, if you're a writer, you're listening for dialogue. You might be standing in line in the grocery store and you hear a conversation that sparks an idea for your characters. So this is the thing. So when you do a ritual for magic, a ritual to enhance your creativity, I just want to tell you can use this and it'll open up those portals for you. Now, another thing you should do, because you have to get layered up. You know how people get lawyered up? when you when you are working on your projects and you're trying to take your life to the next level, you got to get layered up in your in all of the metaphysical type energy. So the other area I would work on in my home is your creativity. You literally have a creativity area, and I sit. When I make my videos, I sit in my creativity area. These are all the dolls that I've made. This is just perfect. I wanted them to be in my creativity area. Now, some of the element for this area is anything that you made, anything that a child has made, eggs, because eggs give birth. The colors are pastels. If you are looking to start a family, you want to have a baby, you would put like baby toys and baby clothes in this area. But yeah, this area is very important. I think the element, oh, you see these circles? I mean, you probably can't see them, but I have these circles back here. The shape is metal. I mean, the element is metal and the shape are circles. So anything that's round. But anyway, so you want to work on your creativity area. So remember when I was, well, I'm saying remember, child, like you watched my last video. This may be your first time seeing me. So you walk into your home, and the door that you walk into your home, that is the soul. That is the mouth to the soul of the home, right? Now, if you were to lie down, eagle spread, your head is at the door, and you were to lay out, where your right hand is, that's your helpful people area, and where your side is, like if you were to make, envision 9 squares, where your side is, that is your creativity area. So your creativity area would be your right side if you were to lie eagle spread on the floor in your room. And you would want to work on that area. You could kind of, you could Google some information about how to enhance this area, but I would work on that, and I would work on this ritual. Now, the reason I say you have to be very careful is because, let me just say this first. What do you think Beyonce had to give up to go on tour? Do you think that she could, maybe watch Married to Medicine, or, just really talk to her friends about the daily, little what's going on in the political arena, just to time the gossip, or girl, let's go get a Five Guys burger and just, chill. Do you think she had time to do that while she was on tour? I know, right? Do you know what she had to give up? Do you know what this woman had to give up to go on to any artist? When you are an artist and you have committed yourself to your craft, to your calling, to your soul contract, there's a lot of stuff. You become extremely isolated. But wait, not only do you become isolated, you become extremely sensitive. Because remember, you have to be able to see the details, hear the nuances, see the shadows and the shapes. You become so sensitive because in order for you to be able to download energy from other galaxies and worlds, right? In order for you to hear your spiritual team, hear Goddess, hear God, hear divinity. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't have your iPad on, baby. You can't have TV on. Your radio, you know what I mean? You have to be tapped in to this universal force of energy, and that means you can't talk on the phone. I mean, you can, but it has to be, some people, if it's an emergency, I can talk to you. But when you are really dedicated to your craft, and especially when you, maybe you have a big show coming up, or maybe when you're in the process of really dedicating yourself to your book, you don't really have time for your friends. When you are on grind and you are listening to your spiritual team and you are making yourself available for those spiritual downloads of information, you have to, if you're on tour, if you're Beyonce, you have to make sure that the routine is tight. You got to make sure your body is in shape. You have to make sure you're getting enough sleep, that you have enough energy. Well, even though I'm using her as example because she was just on tour, but anybody who has, even if you're in med school, and you're doing your residency, anything that is big, you have to dedicate yourself to it. If a woman is giving birth to a baby, she gets really tired, towards the end of that pregnancy, and all of her energy goes towards bringing forth this being into existence. And that is what it's like when you're being creative. Now, I think that the reason that most people, and I'm going to say most people, abandon their gifts and talents is because they really do not want to go through the isolation process. Isolation and being extremely sensitive. I mean, can you imagine? The type of focus that an artist has when they're painting, when they're drawing, or let's say you're sculpting. Just think about the sculptures and the details that the artists are able to bring to life. You got to be tapped in. You have to receive those downloads, that energy, that information. You have to remember those details, even if you're not looking at a being or a photo. You still your mind has to be able to have a very photographic memory. And so so you're not watching a lot of YouTube or social media or whatever because you're focused. Now, you don't have to always be in this state of isolation and sensitivity, but when you are working on something big and it's important to you, that is I bet you for 90% of people, that's a process. And I think most people abandon their craft. They abandon their dreams because who wants to just really isolate themselves and be in a state of being emotional? You're by yourself, and right now I'm in the process of writing 2 books, and yes, you have this dialogue in your head. You're crying, you're laughing, you're trying to think of what the next character is going to say. They're waking you up in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? You become crazy. Well, I don't want to say crazy. You're not crazy. I'm using the word crazy loosely but you're not crazy. You are downloading information from other, universes. I'm sorry. And that requires a certain level of groundedness and discipline and commitment. So I want to just give you some tips. So I've said enough about why it's dangerous, right? Because the isolation and how people can't deal with that. What you can do now when you do your creativity magic, in order not to lose your mind or abandon your craft and feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't talked to anybody, I'm just by myself. Give yourself some boundaries. And what I've been doing, and this is an idea that I just came up with recently. I have a writing robe, and it's really this beautiful turquoise with orange. It's really cute. It's like a kimono. What do you call those? You know those robes I'm talking about. And so I tell myself, my writing guides, my writing team, look, when I put this robe on, bring it. I'm ready. When I take it off, I'm ready to recalibrate and ground my spirit. Now, some of the things you can do to remain grounded is hula hooping, jump roping, just stomping, walking, going into nature. Now, this has to do with your root chakra. The other thing, I'm telling you, I read this in a book a long time ago, and nothing has worked like this. What you want to do is sit down, and you want to imagine a red cord. I like to imagine like a red hollow cord, like a really thick, bright red cord coming down from your tailbone, going all the way into the center of the planet. And I like for mine to spread out like roots of a mighty tree, and like to connect with the earth. And what you do is you say your name, and you let it, you let it vibrate through that red cord. You say your name 3 times and with all your gusto, and that grounds your spirit to the planet. try it. I'm telling you, like, so if you're feeling, anxious, or you just feel like, oh, I just need to get out of my head out of this book, I need to ground myself, try that. Also, there are some really good gemstones you can wear. Black tourmaline, red jasper. So anything that's black and red helps you keep your spirit grounded. Also, watching your diet is so important. Like, when you are, channeling creative energy, if you're eating junk food and channeling creative energy, I hate to say it, but it really does affect your ability, the clarity, the crispness, the richness of your content, of what you want to deliver. So really, when you finish your book, go ahead and get your McDonald's, child. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be perfect, or maybe you need a break, but I know, I think I've read like 9 books, and you see, and this is, guys, the dolls behind me, this is not even all my dolls. I have a whole nother section. I can't even count how many dolls I have, to be honest with you. Like, this is just a little bit. This is just Jungle Beauty Goddesses. So, I'm saying, when I finish writing a book, I usually feel like I need to go to the mental hospital at least for 2 months to get my head back together. Because I have all these conversations. Things are happening. I'm crying. I'm fighting with God. I'm like, why did that have to happen? You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? Do you know what I'm saying? So, you want to use your gemstones. You want to make sure that you eat healthy. You're going to have boundaries with your friends and family. You have to tell people, look, I'll call you when, like, maybe let me get in a good space. Maybe it'll be in a month or 2 or whatever. They'll love you. They'll understand. But you just really need to just take care of your mental health. You watch what you're consuming. I know you might want to just go through social media, and because I know sometimes I like to go through my phone and look at the YouTube shorts, but when I'm really about my business, I really need to use that time to meditate. I need to get up. I need to go to the gym. I have to get extremely focused when I'm working on something, because remember, you're giving birth. Just like, so if you don't do these things, there's 2 things to me happen when people do. They want to be creative. They want to play. They want to learn how to play the guitar. They want to, write poetry. They want to do these things, and they want to be more creative. But what happens is, I've found, is they procrastinate, and they can't move. And the reason they can't move is because they don't want to give up something. Like, they don't know it. I feel like people don't know. Well, I don't want to give up my iPad at night. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to give up my Five Guys burger. It's like I don't want to not talk to my friends. I don't want to. So you think that you have this block to creativity, but what it really is, you don't want to make space for the entities and the beings and the angels. I'm just being honest. The information that will be coming to you from other worlds and galaxies and universes, you haven't cleared your energy. You don't want to clear your energy field so that they can be able to communicate with you. And because I think that it's, one, you feel crazy, and you feel isolated because you can't hear them and your friends and the noises in your environment. So even if when you are being creative, you still have to do things like, go for a run, you have to give yourself a break so that you don't lose your mind. So does that make sense? So using magic to be creative, it's not dangerous, but I think a lot of times people don't understand how it affects you if you are not creating a channel for the artistic expression to come through. And you are that vessel. And if you don't take care of the vessel, it affects your ability to communicate your message to the world. I really hope this video helps someone. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you, darlings, in the next video.